tradition, our future. Today, we become.
In this episode of Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools Rugby, we look ahead to this Saturday's derby between rivals Paarl Boys High School and Paul Roos Gimnasium, live on SuperSport. The Boerland towns of Stellenbosch and Paarl are two of the most fertile breeding grounds of South African rugby players. Legendary names such as Mannetjies Roux and Donnie Craven associated with them. On Saturday the 20th of June, two fine nurseries of rugby talent, Paarl Boys High and Paul Roos Gimnasium, will meet at Brug Street in Paarl for their annual encounter.
Both of our schools are very traditional schools, and we've been competing against each other at this level for many, many years. And I think the fact that we have so many teams playing against each other, and we have this keen competition, not only when it comes to rugby, but to various other sports as well. And throughout the years, we have been very, very keen competitors, and the game has either gone one way or the other. There's not sort of total domination of the one school and the other.
Boys High is always a big fixture, you know, playing home or away, it doesn't matter. It's always a beautiful rugby game. Both teams really want to play well. Boys High are very coached well by Shaun Erasmus, and you know, it's going to be a good one.
2 years ago, we lost the game in the last minute. Fortunately, last year we've won it in the last minute. That's the beauty of the game of rugby. So it's always tough right till the end.
Die Rooi skool van Stellenbosch is beslis 'n formidabele opponent. Ten spyte van wat enigiemand ooit mag sê, is daar net nie iets soos 'n ondergemiddelde of selfs 'n gemiddelde Paul Roos span nie. Hulle is altyd baie goed.
As one would expect with two big all-boys schools, rugby isn't everything. It's the only thing. However, the Boys High Paul Roos derby entails so much more than just the oval ball game.
Paul Roos is, of course, probably a little bit more focused on the rugby. It is traditionally a very good rugby school, but I think over the years it's done very well to make a name for itself in all different facets of the sports. The hockey has been doing exceptionally well lately. They are unbeaten at the moment. It's a very well-rounded school, and it's not only in the rugby area, which is a very good thing to be able to claim.
I think that's the great wonder of this competition, in that whatever you do, Paul Roos is there to match you, and whatever sport you play, whatever cultural event you do, you're always sure to have very, very strong competition, but always done in a gentlemanly environment where we respect one another at all times.
The host school for this encounter, Paarl Boys High, have had a phenomenal run in 2015, winning all 14 of their matches to date. Arguably their greatest result of the year came in their Premier Interschools match against Grey College on the 2nd of May in Bloemfontein, when they claimed a famous 21-19 win.
You know, when you play Grey College, it's such a great school, and you work really hard to go there and do well, and playing away in Bloemfontein, it's already tough enough as it is, and not just worrying about the fact that you're playing Grey College. So it was really special for us, as you could see afterwards. I think it was a special day for Elmer Wolfhard, the coach with me. It was his birthday, so it just made things a lot more special for us.
Our match against Grey, the best way to describe it is as the pinnacle of my high school career. I think it meant a lot to all of us, especially all the matrics, having our first victory up there at Grey.
Beating Grey is something extremely special. We managed to do that on our fields at Brug Street, but never ever before at Grey. So for all of us, it was an extremely special moment, something that we cherish for a very long time.
Their opponents on Saturday, Paul Roos, have also had a great season to date. Their biggest accolade came on the 6th of May, when they defeated Brisbane Boys College from Australia in the final of the Sanix Youth World Invitational in Japan.
Dit was fantasties om die Sanix toernooi in Japan te wen. Sodoende was Paul Roos maar die 4de Suid-Afrikaanse span wat dit in 16 jaar kon regkry. En het ons Brisbane Boys College in die finaal kon klop. So dit is 'n lekkere hoogtepunt hier in ons feesjaar. Ja, dit was 'n spesiale gebeurtenis.
Yeah, I think the rugby team has done very well with the mindset that they've come into this year. They knew that there was quite a lot of pressure with the 150th year, but I think they approached it very well.
Yeah, the trip to Japan was massive. Great competition, tough, 6 games, 8 days. But our main focus was always to come back with the cup in hand, and we did it. The boys played really well, equipped themselves well of their task, and we're very proud of it.
On their return from Japan, Paul Roos suffered a narrow home defeat at the hands of Paarl Gimnasium, going down 23-21, and in the process ending their unbeaten run.
Yeah, I just came back from Japan, emotionally on a high, physically on a high, and just shows you how tough the rugby in the Western Cape and especially South Africa is as well. You know, coming back, tough game against Gim, they played really well, better team on the day, but we took it in our stride and we're looking forward.
Ons het probeer om reg te maak van daar af. Ons het op ons eie veld verloor wat nooit lekker is nie. Ons het party van die mense teleurgestel, maar ons sal terugkom en ons oefen hard en ja, ons sal ons beste gee vanaf.
Matches between Boys High and Paul Roos are always close-fought battles. The 2009 encounter saw Boys High come out on top with a 16-11 win in a match in which Stormers front rankers Steven Kitshoff and Frans Malherbe squared off against each other.
Now, Steven Kitshoff was grade 11 that year in my matric year. We scrummed against each other on that day. He played Cranwick with me as well. He was an awesome player, he still is.
Yeah, I remember scrumming against France in 2009. Boys had a massive pack and they always kept it quite close, and we had to do our job to actually stop the momentum during that day. I remember it was a good game. We played in Paarl and it was a bit rainy and the field was small, but yeah, it was quite close at the end.
Yeah, I still remember it like yesterday. We turned the ball over, they got it, and they had an open line to the try line in the corner. I remember our inside centre, Jan de Vet, he just ran to the corner and he caught the guy that was about to score in the corner, try-saving tackle, and that's probably what won us that game.
Malherbe and Kitshoff have since gone on to play many games together for the Stormers.
One could never have predicted that these two gentlemen would actually play for the same team. But yes, it was an awesome battle up front, and it just predicted more for what an intense game it would eventually be.
Frans was 'n baie interessante seun geweest. Ek dink hy was een van daai ouens wat besonderse leierseienskappe gehad het terwyl hy self dit nie eers besef het nie. Hy was in 2009 ons eerste span kaptein geweest. Hy was die hoofseun van een van ons koshuise geweest.
Rick Schroeder, Paul Roos's 2009 captain, who currently plays for the Lions, has fond memories of his clashes with Boys High.
The game was very physical and a lot of hard tackles, to say the least. And I popped out of one ruck after someone held me down too long, and I looked up to Frans Malherbe, and because we're quite close mates, I was like, "Frans, sort out your guys." Frans looked at me, lifted his shoulders, like, "There's nothing I can do, mate." And nonetheless, it was very hard fought. They managed to get the win, but afterwards we were all mates.
The past decade has been fairly evenly matched between the two schools, with each team claiming 5 wins apiece. The last 2 encounters have seen the home team on the winning side, although that was almost not the case in 2014, when it took a last-minute try from Aiden Cupido to give Paul Roos a win at the Makata.
The time on the clock was finished. Boys High had the ball, and we sort of resigned ourselves to the fact that it's over. One of their players made a mistake. We got the turnover. A few phases later, Aiden ran some hurdles over a few of the Boys High players, scored underneath the post to snatch it away. And it's one of those things that will stick in my memory forever.
Kan nie die gevoel beskryf nie, en het was ongelooflik om Paarl Boys te wen hier op Paul Roos.
They managed to score a brilliant try right in the last dying moments of the game to beat us, and this is typical of what the these games should be like, a wonderful spectacle of schoolboy rugby.
Both schools are hot contenders to claim the #1 ranking at the end of the season, giving this age-old derby a real test match-like feel. One of the Boys High men, keen to set the record straight after last year's loss, is front ranker Vickers Groenewald.
Playing against Paul Roos for me personally has been a little frustrating. In grade 8, I was the guy that made the pass that gave them an interception, and eventually that led to us losing the game. And last year as well, I came on and I played most of the second half, and they eventually scored in the final seconds of the games. They're a quality side, we respect them as players and as a school, but definitely one of the bigger games we have.
Come rain or shine, Brug Street will become a battlefield on Saturday the 20th of June as the colours of blue and maroon collide in one of school rugby's most famous derbies.
Yes, it is normally always one of the bigger games. Regardless of the result that comes from it, it's a game that has a lot of history riding behind it, a lot of tradition riding behind it, and because we cross each other's path throughout the year so much, it's a big one that we would like to win.
Yeah, you know, there's a proud tradition between Boys High and Paul Roos, and they've got a great coaching staff, and it's a good school and a good bunch of boys. So, you know, our boys sort of always want to prepare and do their absolute best against Paul Roos. And if it was anything like last year's game, you know, you can expect it to be another big humdinger.
I've been around long enough to know that the quickest way that you can look like an idiot is to make a prediction in the Paarl Boys High Paul Roos match. So I'll give you a prediction, but I'll wait till after the match to tell you exactly what happened.
We stand for all that is, for our heritage, our tradition, our future. Today, we become.
Watch Paarl Boys High versus Paul Roos in Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools Rugby this Saturday, live on SuperSport.